Before we begin, a quick and important disclaimer. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. The tools and strategies discussed involve third-party software that may be against the terms of service of LinkedIn. Using automation tools carries inherent risks, including the potential for account restriction or suspension. You are solely responsible for your actions and for complying with LinkedIn's user agreement. Please proceed with caution and at your own risk. I used to spend 3 hours every single day on LinkedIn. 3 hours. Waking up, grabbing coffee, and immediately starting the grind. Scroll through the feed, find a few people who look like a good fit. Open their profile in a new tab. Open a spreadsheet. Copy their name. Copy their title. Copy their company. Go back to their profile. Click connect. Add a note. Hey John, saw we're in the same industry, would love to connect and learn more. Hit send. Go back to the spreadsheet. Mark it as sent. Rinse and repeat. 100 times a day. It was a soul-crushing, mind-numbing assembly line of digital handshakes. And the worst part? For all that effort, my calendar was a ghost town. My sales pipeline was bone dry. I was burning out fast, trading my most valuable asset, my time, for almost zero return. I was convinced that this was just the hustle. This was what it took to succeed. I was wrong. Dead wrong. What if I told you that the top 1% of sellers, recruiters, and entrepreneurs on LinkedIn don't do any of that? What if I told you they have a system that does the prospecting for them while they sleep? A system that sends out hundreds of personalized connection requests every week, follows up with new contacts, and tees up warm, qualified conversations, all on autopilot. They're not working harder. They're working smarter. They've turned LinkedIn from a manual labor time suck into an automated opportunity machine. And in this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how they do it. We're talking about LinkedIn automation. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Automation? Isn't that just spam? Aren't you going to get your account banned? It's the elephant in the room, and we're going to address it head-on. There is a right way and a very, very wrong way to do this. The wrong way is buying some cheap, sketchy bot that blasts out 1,000 generic messages a day. That's a one-way ticket to getting your account permanently shut down, and frankly, it just doesn't work. It annoys people and destroys your reputation. But the right way, the smart way, is what this is all about. It's about using sophisticated, safe tools to replicate and scale the human things you're already doing, but with the efficiency of a machine. It's not about replacing you. It's about giving you superpowers. It's about freeing you from the 3 hours of manual drudgery so you can spend your time on what actually matters. Building relationships, having meaningful conversations, and closing deals. So what exactly is LinkedIn automation? Let's demystify it. At its core, it's the use of software to perform repetitive tasks on LinkedIn that you would otherwise have to do manually. Think of it like this. If you use an email marketing service like MailChimp or ConvertKit, you're using automation. You write an email once and the system sends it to thousands of people. If you use a tool like Hootsuite or Buffer to schedule your social media posts, you're using automation. You're setting up your content in advance to be published at the optimal time. LinkedIn automation applies that same powerful principle to your networking and lead generation efforts. It handles the monotonous tasks, like viewing profiles, sending connection requests, and sending follow-up messages, based on a set of rules and sequences that you define. You are the strategist, the architect. The software is just your incredibly efficient, 24/7 virtual assistant, who never gets tired and never asks for a coffee break. The goal isn't to be lazy. The goal is to be strategic, to leverage technology to create more opportunities than you could ever generate by hand. And let's be clear, for professionals here in the United States, this isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's becoming a need-to-have. The US market is the most competitive, most saturated business landscape on the planet. Cold calling. Most people don't even answer their phones anymore if they don't recognize the number. Cold emailing. Your message is fighting for attention against 100 others in an already overflowing inbox, and probably ending up in the spam folder anyway. The game has changed. Your ideal clients, your next employer, your future business partners, they are all on LinkedIn. It is the de facto digital headquarters for American business. It's where deals are sourced, where talent is discovered, and where professional reputations are built. If you are not effectively and efficiently leveraging this platform, you are falling behind. Your competitor, the one who is hitting their quota, the one who just landed that dream job, is likely using these strategies. They've realized that manually clicking buttons for hours a day is an insane waste of their talent and expertise. They are building a system, an engine for growth, while everyone else is still trying to dig for gold with a plastic spoon. This is about leveling the playing field. It's about giving you the same advantage that the top performers are already using to dominate their markets. To do this right, to do it safely and effectively, it all comes down to 3 core pillars. Get these 3 things right, and you'll build an unstoppable lead generation machine. Get them wrong, and you'll just be a sophisticated spammer. The first pillar is hyper-targeting. This is the absolute foundation of everything. Automation without precise targeting is just noise. We're not talking about just filtering by marketing managers in California. We're going to go so much deeper. We're talking about finding people who just started a new job in the last 90 days, because they're the ones with a budget and a mandate to make changes. We're talking about targeting people who have engaged with a specific competitor's post, or who are members of a niche industry group. The tools available today allow us to zoom in with laser precision to find the exact people who have the exact problem that you solve. Because when you reach out to the right person, your message is no longer an interruption. It's a solution. The second pillar is personalized outreach at scale. This is where the magic happens. Anyone can blast a generic message. The key is to make every single person feel like you're writing directly to them, even when you're reaching out to hundreds. This isn't just about using a first name tag. It's about crafting clever, multi-step message sequences that reference their company, their industry, or a shared connection. It's about building campaigns that provide value first, that warm up the connection over days or even weeks before ever asking for anything. We're going to show you how to write copy that sounds like you, that's authentic, and that genuinely starts conversations instead of just pitching a product. And the third, and arguably most important pillar, is the safety protocol. LinkedIn is a powerful platform and they protect it fiercely. The last thing you want is to build up momentum only to find your account has been restricted. This pillar is all about how to use automation in a way that mimics human behavior. We'll cover the critical settings, how many connection requests to send per day, the right time delays between actions, how to use a dedicated IP address, and how to warm up your account so your activity looks natural to LinkedIn's algorithm. This isn't about trying to trick the system. It's about working within its unspoken rules to ensure your account remains in good standing for the long haul. Mastering these 3 pillars, hyper-targeting, personalized outreach at scale, and the safety protocol, is the key to unlocking exponential growth on LinkedIn. It's the difference between struggling to find a handful of leads each week and waking up to a calendar full of appointments with your ideal prospects. So, before we dive into the specific tools and the step-by-step campaign builds, we first need to fundamentally rewire how we think about our LinkedIn profiles. Because your profile is no longer just a resume. It's the central landing page for every single campaign you're about to run. It's the first thing people see, and it needs to be optimized not just to tell people what you've done, but to compel them to connect with you and hear what you have to say next. So let's get this straight. Your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. It's not a dusty archive of your past jobs. Thinking of it that way is the single biggest mistake that costs professionals opportunities every single day. Your resume is what you send when you're applying for something. Your LinkedIn profile is what you use to attract things to you. It's a magnet. It's a sales page. And the product being sold is you, your expertise, your value, your potential. If your profile reads like a list of job duties from 2012, you've already lost. Let's start with the most valuable piece of real estate on the entire platform. Your headline. That little line of text right under your name. Most people put their job title, Sales Manager at Acme Corporation. Okay, and what does that mean for me, the person viewing your profile? Nothing. It's a label. It's not a value proposition. You have 220 characters here. Using them for just a job title is like buying a Super Bowl ad and only showing your company logo for 30 seconds. A catastrophic waste of an opportunity. Your headline needs to answer the silent question every visitor has. What's in it for me? A powerful formula to start with is, I help your target audience achieve a desirable outcome by your unique method. So instead of Sales Manager at Acme Corp, it becomes, I help B2B SaaS founders cut their sales cycle in half by implementing our proprietary lead nurturing framework. See the difference? One is a static label. The other is a dynamic promise. It speaks directly to a specific person with a specific problem and offers a specific solution. You're a financial advisor? Don't just say financial advisor at Big Bank. Try helping tech professionals in their 30s turn their stock options into a concrete plan for financial freedom. You're a recruiter? Not technical recruiter. Instead, connecting high-growth startups with the elite engineering talent they need to scale. This isn't just about sounding fancy. This is about pre-qualifying and attracting the exact people you want to talk to. When your automation campaign starts reaching out to hundreds of people, this headline is the first thing they see in the connection request. It needs to give them a compelling, selfish reason to click accept. It's the hook. Without a great hook, the rest of your profile doesn't even get a chance to be seen. Next, your picture and banner. We live in a visual world. People make snap judgments in milliseconds. Your profile picture needs to be professional, but not a stiff corporate headshot from 10 years ago. It needs to be high resolution. You should be looking toward the camera, smiling genuinely. People connect with people they feel they can trust. A warm, approachable photo builds that trust instantly. No sunglasses, no picture of you on a boat from 50 yards away. And please, no cropped photo from a wedding. Invest in a professional headshot or have a friend with a modern smartphone take a few dozen pictures of you in good natural light. It's a 10-minute task that pays dividends for years. Then there's the banner image. That big rectangle at the top of your profile. This is the most wasted space on all of LinkedIn. Most people leave it as the default blue-green gradient or put up a generic stock photo of a city skyline. This is your billboard. Use it. Create a simple banner in a free tool like Canva. Put your value proposition on it. Add your email address or a link to your website. If you're a speaker, show a picture of you on stage. If you wrote a book, show the cover. If you have a specific call to action like download my free guide to X, put it right there on the banner. It reinforces your headline and gives people another visual way to understand who you are and what you offer. Now we move down to the About section. This is where you tell your story. And I mean a story, not a third-person summary of your career that sounds like it was written by your lawyer. Switch to the first person. Use I and you. Write like you're having a conversation with your ideal client or employer over a cup of coffee. Don't start with John is a results-oriented professional with 15 years of experience. Nobody cares. Seriously. It's boring and it puts people to sleep. Instead, start with the hook. Address their pain point directly. For example, if you're a marketing consultant for small businesses, you could start with, "Are you tired of pouring money into marketing that just doesn't deliver? You're an expert at what you do, but getting a steady stream of qualified leads feels like a constant, uphill battle." Boom. In 2 sentences, you've shown that you understand their struggle. You've built empathy. Now they're listening. After the hook, you introduce yourself as the guide, the solution. Explain how you solved that problem. Don't just list your skills. Frame them as benefits for your reader. For the past decade, I've worked with over 50 small business owners, just like you, to ditch the spray and pray marketing tactics. I help them build a simple, repeatable system that attracts their ideal customers, so they can focus on what they do best, running their business. Then you add social proof. This is crucial. You need to back up your claims. Use bullet points for readability. Sprinkle in numbers and quantifiable results. Here's what I can help you do. Double your inbound leads in the next 90 days. Craft a brand message that makes you the obvious choice in a crowded market. Implement an automated follow-up system that converts prospects while you sleep. I recently helped a local accounting firm generate a 300% ROI on their ad spend in just 1 quarter. Finally, and this is non-negotiable, you end with a clear call to action. See, you have their attention, you've built trust, you've shown them the value. Now what do you want them to do? Don't leave them guessing. Be direct. Ready to stop guessing and start growing? Send me a connection request, and let's have a brief chat about your business goals. Or you can book a free 15-minute strategy call directly on my calendar here. Your calendar link. This transforms your About section from a passive biography into an active conversion tool. Just below that is the Featured section. This is your visual portfolio. If the About section is the sales letter, the Featured section is the demo. You can link to articles you've written, case studies, your company website, a video of you speaking, or a lead magnet like a free PDF guide. This is where you prove everything you just said in your story. If you told them you helped a client achieve a 300% ROI, feature the case study that breaks down exactly how you did it. It makes your claims tangible and dramatically increases your credibility. Lastly, let's look at your experience section. Again, this is not a copy and paste of your old resume's job duties. Nobody on LinkedIn cares that one of your responsibilities was managing weekly team meetings. They care about the results of those meetings. For every role, reframe your bullet points to focus on achievements. Use the problem-action-result framework. What was the situation, what action did you take, and what was the quantifiable result? Instead of, responsible for managing the sales team, try, led a team of 10 sales reps to exceed our annual sales quota by 18%, resulting in an additional $1.2 million in revenue. Instead of, wrote blog posts for the company website, try, developed and executed a content strategy that increased organic website traffic by 45% in 6 months and generated over 500 qualified marketing leads. Numbers are your best friend here. They cut through the noise. They are concrete, believable, and impressive. Go back through your entire work history and find the numbers. How much money did you make or save the company? By what percentage did you increase efficiency or reduce errors? How many people did you train or manage? Quantify everything you can. By optimizing these 5 key areas, the headline, the picture and banner, the about story, the featured proof, and the experience results, you transform your profile from a passive resume into an automated lead generation machine. It becomes a finely tuned landing page that works for you 24/7. It warms up cold prospects, builds authority, and pre-sells them on you before you even send the first message. Now your profile is primed. It's the perfectly baited hook, the irresistible magnet. But a magnet is useless if you don't put it near any metal. The next step, the one that separates the amateurs from the pros, is figuring out exactly who to put this perfectly optimized profile in front of. It's time to go fishing, and that means knowing precisely where the best fish are swimming. And this digital ocean is vast. It's home to over 1 billion users. If you just cast your net randomly, you're going to pull up old boots, seaweed, and a whole lot of nothing. This is the single biggest mistake people make. They get excited about automation, they fire up a tool and they tell it, go find me CEOs in the United States. That's not fishing. That's just splashing around and hoping for a miracle. You end up with a list of 10,000 people, you send out a generic soulless connection request, and your profile gets flagged for spammy behavior before you even get your first reply. Your reputation takes a hit, you've wasted your time, and you conclude that LinkedIn automation doesn't work. But it wasn't the tool that failed. The strategy failed. The goal isn't to find everyone. The goal is to find the right one. You don't need 1,000 lukewarm leads. You need 10, 20, maybe 50 people who are so perfectly aligned with what you offer that when they see your message, it feels less like a cold outreach and more like a solution that just fell from the sky. This is about precision. This is about building a list so targeted, so specific, that it's practically a pre-qualified pipeline. So how do we do it? We become detectives. We build a composite sketch of our ideal prospect. Forget the tools for a second. Grab a pen and paper, or open a new document. We're going to answer some fundamental questions. Let's create a hypothetical. Imagine you're a marketing consultant. Let's call you Alex. Alex specializes in helping B2B software as a service, or SaaS, companies improve their customer retention. Who does Alex need to talk to? The first, obvious answer is the head of marketing. Okay, that's a start. But it's lazy. It's what everyone else is doing. We need to go deeper. First, what are the actual job titles? Is it just head of marketing? Or could it be VP of marketing, chief marketing officer, director of growth, or even head of customer success? In a smaller company, the CEO might even be the one making this decision. So right away, our search has expanded from one title to 5 or 6 possibilities. We're already getting more specific. Second, what's the ideal company size? Does Alex's strategy work for a 5-person startup? Probably not. They're focused on acquisition, not retention. Does it work for Microsoft? Unlikely. They have a 1,000-person internal team dedicated to this. Alex's sweet spot, the place where the consulting service provides maximum impact for a price the company can afford, is likely a mid-sized company. Let's say companies with 50 to 250 employees. That's a critical filter. We've just eliminated millions of people and companies from our search, and in doing so, made our list infinitely more powerful. Third, what industry are they in? We already said B2B SaaS, but can we get more specific? Maybe Alex has incredible results with fintech SaaS companies, or health tech. The more niche you go, the more your message will resonate. For now, let's stick with the broader computer software, or IT services categories on LinkedIn, but keep that niche in the back of your mind. Now, here's where we move from basic targeting to expert-level prospecting. We need to think about buying signals and trigger events. What is happening in a business that would make them suddenly need Alex's help? Are they hiring? A company that just posted 5 new roles for their marketing team is a company that's investing in growth. You can literally search for people at companies that are actively hiring on LinkedIn. That's a massive buying signal. It says we have a budget, and we are focused on this area of the business. Did they just receive a round of funding? A company that just closed a Series A or Series B funding round has cash to spend and immense pressure from their investors to grow. A quick search on sites like Crunchbase or PitchBook can give you a list of recently funded companies in your target industry. You then take that list of companies back to LinkedIn. Has there been a recent leadership change? A new VP of marketing who started in the last 90 days is a golden opportunity. They're new to the role, they want to make an impact, and they're actively looking for ways to impress their new boss. They are far more open to new ideas and outside help than someone who's been in the role for 5 years and is set in their ways. LinkedIn Sales Navigator has a specific filter for this. Change jobs in the last 90 days. It's one of the most powerful buttons on the entire platform. So look at what we have now. Instead of head of marketing, Alex's composite sketch looks like this. A VP of marketing, director of growth, or head of customer success. At a B2B SaaS company, with between 50 and 250 employees, who is actively hiring for their marketing team, or who started their job in the last 90 days. Do you see the difference? We've gone from a shotgun blast to a sniper shot. A list built with this level of detail might only have 300 people on it, not 30,000, but every single one of them is a high probability target. Now let's talk about turning this sketch into a real list inside LinkedIn. This is where you leverage the search filters, and specifically the power of Boolean search. This sounds complicated, but it's incredibly simple. It's just using the words and, or, and not to give LinkedIn precise instructions. Think of it like ordering a coffee. You don't just say coffee. You say, I'll have a large iced coffee with oat milk and 1 shot of espresso, but not with any sugar. You just use Boolean logic. On LinkedIn, it works the same way. In the main search bar, you can construct a search string. For our friend Alex, it might look something like this. First, we handle the job titles using or. We type VP of Marketing, or Director of Growth, or Head of Customer Success. The quotation marks keep the phrases together, and or tells LinkedIn to show us people with any of these titles. Next, we add the industry using an. This narrows the search. So now it's VP of Marketing, or Director of Growth, and SaaS. Then we can add negative keywords using not. Maybe Alex doesn't want to work with huge enterprise clients. We could add not enterprise. This will exclude anyone with the word enterprise in their current job title, like VP of Enterprise Sales. Putting it all together, you can create these incredibly complex, powerful search strings that allow you to pinpoint your exact audience with terrifying accuracy. This is the foundation. You combine this Boolean logic with the built-in filters like company size, location, and seniority level. Now, a quick but important note. You can do a lot of this with a free LinkedIn account. But if you are serious about this, you need Sales Navigator. Let me be clear. This isn't a sales pitch for LinkedIn, it's a professional reality. Trying to do high-level prospecting with a free account is like trying to perform surgery with a plastic knife. It's messy, you can't see what you're doing, and you're limited in how many searches you can even perform before LinkedIn restricts your account. Sales Navigator is the professional-grade tool. It unlocks more advanced filters, like the job change trigger we talked about. It gives you way more data, allows you to save your searches into dynamic lists, and most importantly, it lets you operate without the same commercial use limits that a free account has. The monthly fee for Sales Navigator is not a cost. It's an investment that pays for itself with a single closed deal. So you've done the work. You've built your composite sketch. You've used the filters and the Boolean logic. You now have a list. A beautiful, pristine list of 278 ideal prospects. These are the people you were born to help. Your profile is optimized, a shining beacon of value. Your target list is locked in. The temptation now is to rush, to blast out a connection request to all 278 of them at once. Don't, because finding the right fish is only half the battle. Now you have to craft the perfect bait. A generic message sent to a perfect audience is just as useless as a perfect message sent to a generic audience. The next step is to craft an outreach sequence that doesn't feel like automation at all. It needs to feel personal, human, and valuable, even when it's being sent at scale. And that is a science all its own. So what does that science look like in practice? It starts by flipping the entire script on what you think sales and networking is. Most automated outreach is a digital version of a cold call. It's an interruption. It's selfish. It's a one-way street where the sender is asking for something. Your time, your attention, your money, before they've earned the right to do so. The science of great automated outreach is rooted in one fundamental principle: generosity. It's about leading with value, consistently and without expectation, to build trust and authority before you ever ask for anything in return. Let's dissect the anatomy of a terrible, all too common LinkedIn message. You've all received it. It starts with a connection request, maybe with a note, maybe not. Once you accept, the clock starts ticking. Within an hour BM, the pitch arrives. Hi John, thanks for connecting. I see you're the VP of Marketing at Acme Corporation. My company provides a revolutionary AI-powered solution that helps VPs of marketing increase their ROI by 300%. Are you free for a 15-minute demo next Tuesday? Let's break down why this fails so spectacularly. First, it's completely disingenuous. The thanks for connecting is a lie. They didn't want to connect, they wanted to pitch. You were just a row in their spreadsheet. Second, it's a textbook example of a feature dump. AI-powered solution. 300% ROI. These are just abstract claims with no context or proof. It assumes you care about their solution when in reality you only care about your problems. Third, and most importantly, it makes a massive premature ask. They've invested 0 seconds in building a relationship with you. Yet they're asking for 15 minutes of your most valuable asset, your time. The immediate reflexive response is to archive, delete, or even report as spam. That approach doesn't just get ignored. It actively damages your personal and company brand. So how do we fix it? We design a sequence based on the give, ask framework. It's a patient, value-driven approach that respects the prospect's inbox and intelligence. This sequence is typically spread out over 2 to 3 weeks and consists of 4 key touchpoints. The first touchpoint is the connection request itself. This is your digital first impression. Do not pitch here. I repeat, do not pitch in the connection request. Your only goal is to give them a compelling, non-threatening reason to click accept. The key is to find a point of commonality. This is where your hyper-targeted list from the last section pays off. Your note should be brief and personalized. For example, if you're targeting people in a specific LinkedIn group, you could say, "Hi Sarah, so we're both members of the SaaS Growth Hackers group. I really enjoyed the recent discussion on PLG models. Would be great to connect with another professional in the space." Or if you're targeting by geography and industry, "Hi Michael, I see we're both in the fintech scene here in Austin. I've been following your company's recent funding announcement. Congratulations. Would love to connect and follow your journey." Notice the pattern? It's about them, not you. It's a genuine low-stakes reason to join their network. Now let's say they accept. The automation tool registers this and a timer begins. Do you pounce immediately? No. You wait. A good rule of thumb is to wait 2 to 3 business days. You want the interaction to feel natural, not like an automated tripwire. This brings us to touchpoint number 2. The first give. Your goal here is to provide a piece of pure, unadulterated value with 0 strings attached. This is not a link to your company's blog post. Not yet. That feels self-serving. Instead, find a high-value third-party resource that's directly relevant to their role. An industry report from Gartner, a deep dive article from Harvard Business Review, a new tool that solves a common problem for people in their position. The message would sound something like this. "Hey Sarah, thanks for connecting. I just came across this comprehensive report from McKinsey on the future of product-led growth. And, given your role at company name, I thought you might find it insightful. Hope your week is off to a great start." That's it. No ask. No hint of a sales pitch. You've just provided free value and positioned yourself as a helpful, well-informed resource. The psychological principle of reciprocity is now quietly humming in the background. A week passes. The automation triggers touchpoint number 3, the second give. This time you can be a little more direct in showcasing your own expertise, but it's still framed as a gift. This is the perfect place to share a piece of content you or your company created. A detailed guide, a webinar recording, a case study, a checklist. The key is that the content must be genuinely helpful and solve a real problem for the prospect. The message could be, "Hi Sarah, hope you're having a productive week. My team and I recently put together a deep dive guide on reducing churn for PLG SaaS companies based on our work with a few dozen firms in the space. A lot of VPs of product have found this section on user onboarding particularly useful. Thought I'd share it with you here. No sign-up required. See the difference? You're not saying buy my stuff. You're saying I understand your world, and here is something to help you succeed in it. You are building trust, one valuable interaction at a time. Finally, another 5 to 7 days later, we arrive at touchpoint number 4, the ask. By now, you've earned the right to ask for a small amount of their time. You're no longer a random stranger. You're the helpful person who has sent them 2 valuable resources. But even here, the ask must be intelligent and consultative. Don't revert to the generic, "Can I have 15 minutes to demo my product line?" Your ask should be a hypothesis. It should show that you've done your research and have a specific, tangible idea to discuss. It might look like this. "Hi Sarah. Hope the resources I sent over were helpful. Based on my understanding of your company's position in the market and some of the common challenges for scaling PLG models, I have a specific idea about how you could potentially improve new user activation rates by 10 to 15% in the next quarter. It might be completely off base, but I thought it could be worth a brief conversation. Would you be open to a quick call next week to explore it?" Let's unpack the genius of that final message. First, it references your past value adds, reminding them of the relationship you've built. Second, it presents a specific outcome-focused hypothesis. Improve new user activation rates by 10 to 15%, which is far more compelling than, "Let me show you my software." Third, it introduces humility and lowers the pressure with phrases like, "It might be completely off base," and "Explore it." This gives them an easy social out. It doesn't feel like a high-pressure sales tactic. It feels like a peer offering a potentially valuable suggestion. This entire 4-step sequence, connect, give, ask, transforms your outreach from a selfish interruption into a welcome, value-added conversation. It respects the prospect, builds trust, and dramatically increases the likelihood of getting a positive response. And the beauty of automation is that you can have hundreds of these patient, value-driven conversations happening in parallel. The system does the heavy lifting of building the relationship, so that when a prospect finally raises their hand and says, "Yes, I'm interested," you're stepping into a warm conversation, not a cold one. You've filtered for intent and interest, and you're only spending your valuable time with the people who are most likely to become your clients. Now, you have the strategy for targeting the right people and the 4-part messaging framework to engage them effectively. But the question remains, what are the actual tools you use to execute this? How do you set up these sequences, manage the replies, and most importantly, do it all in a way that keeps your LinkedIn account safe? Because running automation carries inherent risks if you don't know what you're doing. The software you choose is just as critical as the strategy you deploy. So let's dive into the engine room. When you're choosing a LinkedIn automation tool, you're essentially picking a vehicle. Some are like those cheap, plug-in scooter kits you find online. They might get you down the block, but they're wobbly, unreliable, and you're one pothole away from a disaster. Others are like a professionally maintained fleet vehicle, built for the long haul, packed with safety features, and designed to perform a specific job with maximum efficiency. The price tags are different for a reason. And on LinkedIn, choosing the wrong vehicle doesn't just leave you stranded. It can get your license permanently revoked. Broadly speaking, automation tools fall into 2 major categories: browser-based extensions and cloud-based platforms. Understanding the difference isn't just technical trivia. It's the single most important factor in keeping your account safe. First, let's talk about browser-based tools. These are almost always Chrome extensions. You install them directly into your web browser, and they essentially live on top of your LinkedIn page. When you're logged in, the extension clicks the buttons for you: visiting profiles, sending connection requests, endorsing skills. The appeal is obvious. They are often cheaper, sometimes with a one-time fee or a low monthly subscription, and they're incredibly easy to set up. You install it, you set a few parameters, and you hit go. But here's the critical vulnerability. Because they operate within your browser, they inject code directly into the LinkedIn webpage. Think of it like someone physically sitting at your computer and using your mouse, but at a speed and pattern that can be unnatural. LinkedIn's detection algorithms are incredibly sophisticated and are specifically designed to look for this kind of foreign code injection and non-human browser activity. They can see the extension's digital fingerprints all over your session. Furthermore, these tools only work when your computer is on and the browser tab is open. If you close your laptop, the campaign stops. This makes them less efficient and tempts users to run them too aggressively during their working hours, creating spikes in activity that are easy to flag. For a casual user just dipping their toes in, they might seem like a good entry point, but for any serious professional, the risk-to-reward ratio is dangerously high. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. Cloud-based platforms. These are the professional-grade tools. Instead of running from your browser, they operate from a dedicated remote server, a computer in the cloud that works for you 24/7. When you set up a campaign, you're giving instructions to that remote server. The platform then accesses your LinkedIn account from its own secure location. The key difference here is safety and sophistication. A reputable cloud-based tool assigns your LinkedIn account a dedicated IP address. This means that every time the tool logs in to work on your behalf, it looks like it's coming from the same computer in the same city. It doesn't jump from your home Wi-Fi in Chicago to a server in Virginia to your office network downtown. This consistent, stable login behavior is exactly what a normal human user looks like. There's no foreign code being injected into your browser, because the work isn't happening there. It's happening on a server far away, mimicking the behavior of a human using the platform from a single, consistent location. This cloud-based approach also means the system can work for you, even when your computer is off. It can intelligently spread out your activity over 24 hours, sending a few connection requests in the morning, viewing some profiles in the afternoon, and engaging with content in the evening, just like a real, active professional would. It's smarter, safer, and infinitely more scalable. Yes, these platforms come with a higher monthly subscription fee, but you're not just paying for software. You're paying for safety, for advanced features, and for a dedicated infrastructure designed to protect your most valuable professional asset, your LinkedIn account. So, how do you sort the professional-grade tools from the dangerous toys? You need a pre-flight checklist. Before you ever give a piece of software your LinkedIn password, it must meet these non-negotiable safety and performance standards. First, and most importantly, a dedicated country-specific IP address. Ask the provider directly. If they can't guarantee that your account will operate from a single static IP address located in the United States, walk away. Sharing an IP with hundreds of other users is the fastest way to get your account flagged for suspicious activity. Second, look for human-like behavior emulation. The software should automatically randomize the delays between actions. It shouldn't send a connection request exactly every 90 seconds. It should be 87 seconds, then 112, then 95. It should have a sleep mode or working hours setting, so it isn't sending messages at 3 a.m. on a Saturday. The goal is to make the automation's activity pattern indistinguishable from your own. Sophisticated tools even have a warm-up feature, which slowly ramps up your activity over days or weeks, especially for new accounts, to avoid sudden, suspicious spikes. Third, confirm it has built-in dynamic safety limits. LinkedIn has daily and weekly limits on profile views, connection requests, and messages. A good tool knows these limits and, more importantly, stays well below them. It should automatically adjust based on your account's age and status, whether you have a free account, premium, or sales navigator. If a tool lets you try to send 200 connection requests on your first day, it's not designed to protect you. It's designed to get your money before your account gets shut down. Fourth, check for advanced targeting and personalization features. Can you import a CSV file of leads? Can you use advanced if-then logic in your messaging sequences? For instance, if a person's title is CEO, send one message, but if their title is marketing manager, send another. Can you use placeholders beyond just first name and company? The more sophisticated the personalization, the less it looks like spam and the more effective your outreach will be. This includes blacklisting capabilities, the ability to upload a list of domains or specific people like competitors or current customers that you never want the system to contact. Finally, evaluate their customer support and documentation. Is there a real human you can talk to if something goes wrong? Do they have a comprehensive knowledge base, video tutorials, and an active user community? A company that invests in support is a company that's in it for the long run and is committed to its users' success and safety. Now let's talk about the giant red flags. If you see any of these, run for the hills. The biggest one is any tool that claims to be 100% safe or undetectable. That is an outright lie. No automation is 100% safe. There is always a risk, and any company that tells you otherwise is using dishonest marketing. Reputable companies are transparent about the risks and focus on the features they've built to mitigate them. Another red flag is an incredibly low price, especially a one-time lifetime fee. Maintaining a secure, cloud-based infrastructure with dedicated IPs is expensive. If the price seems too good to be true, it's because they are cutting corners, likely on the very safety features you need most. Lastly, be wary of any tool that hooks directly into LinkedIn's official API for automated messaging or connecting. LinkedIn's terms of service are very clear about how their API can be used, and this type of activity is a flagrant violation. These tools are the easiest for LinkedIn to identify and shut down. Choosing your automation platform is the foundational decision upon which your entire growth strategy will be built. Picking the wrong one is like building a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. It might look impressive for a short while, but the collapse is inevitable. But once you have the right tool, a secure cloud-based platform that mimics human behavior and respects the platform's limits, you've done more than just buy a piece of software. You've acquired a tireless digital assistant, ready to work for you 24/7. But a powerful tool is useless without the right instructions. Having a Formula One car doesn't make you a world champion driver. You need a strategy. You need to know exactly what to say. How do you write a connection request that doesn't just get accepted but actually gets a reply? How do you craft a follow-up sequence that builds relationships and creates opportunities, instead of just annoying people and getting you marked as spam? That's where the art meets the science, and it's exactly what we're going to break down next. The single biggest mistake people make on LinkedIn isn't a bad profile picture or a weak headline. It's treating the follow-up message like a game of digital whack-a-mole. Hey, just checking in. Popping this to the top of your inbox. Following up on my last message. Every one of these is a nail in the coffin of a potential relationship. It's the digital equivalent of tapping someone on the shoulder every 5 minutes to ask, "Did you see me? How about now?" Now. It's annoying, it provides zero value, and it screams desperation. The goal of a follow-up sequence is not to remind someone they ignored you. The goal is to give them a compelling new reason to engage with you this time. This requires a fundamental shift in mindset. You are not a salesperson chasing a commission. You are a valuable resource, a strategic partner, a problem solver. Your follow-up sequence must reflect that. Every single message you send after the initial connection must pass the "so what?" test. The prospect reads your message and subconsciously asks, "So what?" If your message doesn't have a damn good answer, you've lost. The answer can't be, "So you'll buy my stuff." The answer has to be rooted in providing them with something tangible, something useful, right then and there, with no strings attached. Let's build the perfect follow-up sequence piece by piece. We'll call it the value-first cadence. It starts the moment they accept your connection request. Your automation tool should trigger the first message within an hour. This isn't a pitch. It's a simple human acknowledgement. "Thanks for connecting. First name. I was checking out your work at company name and was really impressed with," mention something specific if possible, or a general compliment like the impact you're making in the X space. "Looking forward to following your work." That's it. You've been polite, you've shown you've paid attention, and you haven't asked for anything. You've started the relationship on the right foot. Now wait. Give it 2 to 3 days. Let the connection breathe. Then your automation sends the second message. This is the most important message in the entire sequence. We call this the value bomb. Your goal here is to give them something so genuinely useful, so perfectly tailored to their professional life, that they can't help but see you as a resource. This is not a link to your company's homepage. It is not a brochure. It is a piece of high-value content. For example, if you're targeting marketing directors, you could send, "Hey, first name. I just came across this deep dive report from Forrester on the future of B2B content marketing. The section on AI-driven personalization is fascinating. Thought you might find it valuable for your work at," company name. No need to reply, just wanted to share. Or if you're a financial advisor targeting tech founders, "Hey, first name. A lot of founders I know are navigating the complexities of US-based tax exemptions right now. I found this incredibly clear breakdown on the topic from a top CPA firm. Hope it's helpful." Do you see the pattern? You are solving a potential problem or providing a valuable insight before you ever ask for anything. You are demonstrating your expertise and generosity. The key is that the value has to be real. A generic blog post from your own company won't cut it unless it's truly exceptional. Find third-party reports, incredible articles, or powerful case studies that speak directly to their pain points. This single step will set you apart from 99% of the automated noise on LinkedIn. Okay, so you've dropped the value bomb. Now what? Again, you wait. This time maybe 4 or 5 days. Then comes the third message. This message has 2 potential paths. The social proof angle or the conversation starter. The social proof angle is subtle. It could be something like, "Hey, first name. Hope your week is going well. We just wrapped up a project with another company in their industry sector and helped them achieve a 30% reduction in customer churn. The strategy we used was pretty unconventional, and it made me think of your team at company name." You're not selling. You're telling a story. You're planting a seed that you get results for people just like them. The conversation starter path is more direct but still not a sales pitch. It's about being human. "Hey, first name. I saw on your profile that you're also an alum of university name. Go Wildcats. Just wanted to say hello." Or, "I noticed we're both in the LinkedIn group name group. I really enjoyed that recent discussion on topic. What were your thoughts on it?" This approach shatters the robotic feel of automation and opens the door for a genuine human conversation. It's only now, after you've been polite, provided immense value, and attempted to build rapport, that you can even think about making an ask. This is the fourth message, sent about a week after the last one. And it's still not, "Can I have 15 minutes of your time?" That's a high-friction request. Instead, you make a low-friction offer. It's a yes or no question that makes it easy for them to respond. For example, "Hey, first name. Based on your role at company name and some of the industry trends I'm seeing, I have a hunch that your team might be focused on improving specific business problem this year. Is that on your radar at all?" This is a brilliant question. If they say no, you can politely bow out. If they say yes, you've just opened a qualified sales conversation. Another great low-friction offer is, "If you found that case study interesting, I've actually put together a one-page executive summary outlining the exact three-step process we used. Would you be open to me sending it over?" Again, all they have to do is say yes. You're still giving, not just taking. Finally, what if you get nothing? No replies, no likes, nothing. After 4 well-crafted, value-driven messages, it's time for the fifth and final message, the graceful exit. This is so powerful because almost no one does it. After another week or so, you send this, "Hi, first name. I know you're busy, so I won't clog up your inbox any further. It seems like now might not be the right time. I wish you and the team at company name all the best. And if you ever need a resource for your area of expertise, you know where to find me." This does 3 things. 1, it shows respect for their time, which is a rare and appreciated commodity. 2, it demonstrates confidence. You're not desperate for their business. And 3, paradoxically, the psychology of taking something away often triggers a response. You'd be shocked at how many people reply to the breakup message with, "Hey, sorry for the delay. Things have been crazy. Actually, I am interested in learning more." This entire sequence, the thank you, the value bomb, the social proof, the low-friction ask, and the graceful exit, is a system. It's a machine for building trust and creating conversations at scale. It's methodical, it's repeatable, and it's built on the timeless principle of giving before you ask. It transforms your automation from a blunt instrument for spamming prospects into a sophisticated engine for relationship building. But crafting the perfect messages is only half the battle. If you have the right words but the wrong tools, you're setting yourself up for failure. A cheap, flimsy automation tool can't handle this level of sophistication. It can't manage complex cadences, it can't handle advanced personalization, and worst of all, it can put your entire LinkedIn account at risk of being flagged or even permanently banned. So how do you choose the right platform? What are the key features that separate the professional-grade systems from the dangerous toys? That's the critical infrastructure we need to build next. Let's break down the architecture of a truly elite automation platform. When you're evaluating your options, you're not just buying a piece of software. You're hiring a digital employee that will represent you and your brand 24/7. You wouldn't hire someone careless, so don't choose a careless tool. The entire decision-making process boils down to what I call the 3 pillars of professional-grade automation. Get these 3 right, and you're building a growth engine on solid bedrock. Get any of them wrong, and you're building on sand. The first and most important pillar is safety and security. This is non-negotiable. If the tool isn't safe, nothing else matters. The single biggest dividing line here is between browser-based extensions and cloud-based platforms. A browser extension, like a Chrome extension, is a piece of code that literally lives inside your web browser on your computer. To run, your computer must be on, and you must have a LinkedIn tab open. It works by directly manipulating the page you're looking at, performing clicks and typing text right there from your machine. This might sound convenient, but from LinkedIn's perspective, it's like someone running through their lobby screaming with a bullhorn. It's noisy, obvious, and easy to detect. Every action originates from your personal IP address, the unique digital address of your home or office. It leaves a massive, clumsy footprint that LinkedIn's algorithms are specifically designed to spot. If LinkedIn updates its website code, which it does constantly, the extension can break or worse, start behaving erratically, sending out 1,000 requests in an hour and instantly getting your account restricted. Using a browser extension is the digital equivalent of stuffing flyers under windshield wipers in a parking lot. It's low-tech, risky, and screams amateur. A cloud-based platform, on the other hand, is an entirely different beast. It operates from a dedicated server in a secure data center, completely independent of your computer. You set up your campaigns through a web dashboard, and then you can turn your computer off, go on vacation, and the platform continues to work for you intelligently in the background. Crucially, these professional platforms assign your LinkedIn account a dedicated, safe IP address. This means all the activity looks like it's coming from a consistent, stable location, just as if you were logging in from the same device every day. The platform doesn't manipulate the front end of the website. Instead, it interacts with LinkedIn on a much deeper, more subtle level, sending signals that are virtually indistinguishable from a human user. It's the difference between a clumsy robot and a master of espionage. Furthermore, the best cloud-based systems have built-in safety throttles. They automatically randomize the time between actions, they adhere to proven daily limits for profile views, connection requests, and messages, and they even have warm-up features for new accounts, gradually increasing activity over days or weeks to avoid sudden spikes that trigger alarms. This isn't just about avoiding a ban. It's about respecting the platform and operating like a true professional. Once you've established a foundation of safety, you can move to the second pillar: intelligence and personalization. This is what separates a tool that just sends spam from a system that builds genuine relationships at scale. The most basic tools can maybe insert a first name. That's table stakes. That's not personalization anymore. It's just expected. True intelligence is about hyper-personalization. Can the tool pull the prospect's company name, their job title, the university they attended, or a shared connection you both have, and dynamically insert that into your message? Can it reference a specific skill listed on their profile? A truly advanced system allows you to create messages so tailored, it's impossible for the recipient to believe it was automated. But it goes even deeper. The real game changer is conditional logic. This is the if-then capability that allows you to build truly smart campaigns. For example, you can set a rule. If the prospect's job title contains VP or director, then send them message sequence A, which is tailored to senior leadership. But if their title contains manager, then send them message sequence B, which addresses mid-level challenges. You can create branching paths. If a prospect accepts your connection request, then send follow-up 1. But if they view your profile in return but don't connect, then endorse one of their skills and wait 3 days before trying a different approach. This isn't just blasting a message into the void. This is creating a dynamic, responsive communication flow that adapts to the prospect's behavior. It's the difference between a pre-recorded robocall and a conversation with a highly trained sales executive who knows exactly what to say based on your responses. This level of intelligence also includes integrations. Does the platform connect with your CRM? Can it automatically push a new lead who replies positively into your HubSpot or Salesforce pipeline? Can it trigger a Zapier workflow to add them to an email list? A professional tool doesn't exist in a vacuum. It becomes the central hub of your entire business development ecosystem. Finally, we have the third pillar: scalability and analytics. A great tool doesn't just work for you as a solo operator. It can grow with you, your team, or your agency. But more importantly, it gives you the data you need to get smarter over time. The single most powerful feature here is A/B testing. You should never have to guess which message works best. A professional platform will let you test 2 different connection request notes against each other, sending each one to 50% of your target list. After a week, you can look at the dashboard and see with statistical certainty that message A got a 22% acceptance rate while message B got a 38% acceptance rate. So you kill message A, make message B the new standard, and then you test a new challenger against it. This is how you achieve continuous improvement. It's how you take your campaigns from good to world-class, based on hard data, not on gut feelings. This leads directly to the broader point of analytics. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. A cheap tool might send requests and you're left wondering what happened. A professional platform provides a comprehensive dashboard. You need to see at a glance your connection acceptance rate, your reply rate for each message in your sequence, and which campaigns are performing the best. You should be able to filter by date, by campaign, by tag, and see exactly where your bottlenecks are. Are people accepting your request but not replying to your first message? That tells you your initial note is good, but your follow-up is weak. Is your acceptance rate low? Then your connection request note or your own profile headline needs work. This dashboard is your command center. It's the feedback loop that allows you to refine your strategy, double down on what works, and eliminate what doesn't, ensuring your efforts produce a tangible, measurable return on investment. For those of you running agencies or sales teams, this pillar also includes team management features, allowing you to manage multiple LinkedIn accounts from a single interface without compromising the safety of any individual account. So, to recap, Pillar 1, safety, is your foundation. It must be cloud-based with human-like behavior. Pillar 2, intelligence, is your framework. It must have hyper-personalization and conditional logic. And Pillar 3, scalability, is your control tower. It must provide A/B testing and robust analytics. A tool that excels in all three of these areas isn't just an automation script. It's a strategic asset. It's the infrastructure that empowers you to build meaningful connections, start valuable conversations, and generate opportunities consistently and predictably. Now that we know what to look for in a platform, it's time to talk about the fuel for this engine, the messaging itself. Because the best tool in the world is useless without a strategy and a message that actually resonates. Let's be brutally honest. Most LinkedIn messages are digital garbage. They are the online equivalent of a stranger walking up to you at a coffee shop, shoving a business card in your face, and launching into a sales pitch before you've even made eye contact. We've all gotten them. The infamous pitch slap. It usually starts with a generic connection request, and the second you click accept, your inbox is hit with a 3-paragraph essay about their revolutionary B2B SaaS platform that's going to change your life. You don't read it. You archive it. You might even disconnect from the person. Why? Because it's a completely one-sided transaction. It's all about them, their needs, their product. There is zero consideration for you, your time, or your problems. This is the single biggest mistake people make with LinkedIn automation. They see it as a way to send more bad messages faster. They think volume is the key. But sending 10,000 terrible messages just makes you a 10,000 times more annoying spammer. It doesn't get you clients. It gets you a bad reputation and a potentially restricted account. The goal isn't to automate bad habits. It's to automate a brilliant, human-centric process. So how do we craft a message that doesn't just avoid the trash folder, but actually starts a meaningful conversation? We need to fundamentally shift our mindset. Stop thinking, what can I get from this person? And start thinking, what can I give to this person? The secret to getting attention is to first give value. This isn't some fluffy, feel-good concept. It's a strategic imperative. I want you to think about every message you send through a simple 3-part framework. Let's call it the VIP framework. Value, insight, and personalization. Every single touchpoint, from the connection request to the follow-up, needs to pass the VIP test. Let's break down the V value. Value is not a discount on your service. It is not a link to your calendar. Value is something you give away with no strings attached that helps your prospect with a problem they are likely facing. It's an act of generosity that builds trust and positions you as an expert, not a salesperson. This could be a link to an incredibly insightful third-party article, a free tool you found, a case study that's directly relevant to their industry, or a quick, actionable tip you can share in the message itself. The key is that it has to be about them. If you're reaching out to marketing directors at tech startups, don't send them a generic blog post about marketing. Send them a deep dive analysis on the latest iOS privacy changes and how it's affecting customer acquisition costs for SaaS companies. See the difference? One is generic noise. The other is specific, timely, and genuinely helpful. It shows you understand their world. Next up is insight. This is the why. Why are you reaching out to them specifically right now? Insight is the bridge between your value and their reality. It's the sentence in your message that makes them stop and think, okay, this person gets it. This isn't a random blast. Insight demonstrates that you've done your homework. It's the opposite of a generic template. It could be something like, I saw your company just secured Series B funding, and typically at this stage, scaling the sales team without sacrificing culture becomes a major challenge. Or, I noticed in your recent post about supply chain logistics that you mentioned container dwell times. I just read a fascinating report on how West Coast ports are using AI to cut that by 20%. That one sentence proves you're not a robot randomly scraping profiles. You are a thoughtful professional who has identified a specific, relevant context for your conversation. It's the ultimate pattern interrupt. And that brings us to the final and most critical piece P for personalization. Now, when most people hear personalization, they think of the first name mail merge tag. That is the absolute lowest bar. It's not personalization. It's just avoiding being rude. True personalization is about finding a human hook. It's about finding a genuine common ground or a point of interest that makes your message one of a kind. This requires a little bit of research, but with the tools available on LinkedIn, it takes seconds. Did they recently post an article you found interesting? Mention it. Did you go to the same university? Mention it. Do you share a mutual connection you both respect? Mention it. Are they a fan of the Golden State Warriors and you saw they commented on a post about the game? Mention it. This is where the magic happens. A truly personalized message is impossible to ignore because it's not a message for a prospect. It's a message for a person. Let's put this all together. Imagine the old way. The connection request is blank. The follow-up message is, "Hi John, thanks for connecting. I'm a consultant who helps companies like yours increase revenue. Do you have 15 minutes next week to chat about your goals?" Delete. Archive. Spam. Now let's try the VIP method. First, the connection request. You don't leave it blank. You use that small piece of real estate to start building rapport. Something like, "Hi Sarah. I saw your recent post on the challenges of remote team management, and it really resonated. I had a similar experience at my last company. Would love to connect." It's simple, relevant, and not asking for anything. Now she accepts. The automation tool fires off the first message. But it's not a pitch. It's a VIP message. It might look something like this. "Great to connect, Sarah. That post you wrote really hit home. It reminded me of this article from Harvard Business Review about asynchronous communication tools that our team found incredibly useful for cutting down on unnecessary Zoom meetings. Thought you might find it valuable too." Then you add the insight and personalization. "I noticed your company is hiring for several remote-first roles, so I imagine this is a top-of-mind issue as you scale. Especially since you're a fellow University of Michigan alum. We tend to overthink these things. Go blue. Let's dissect that." The value. A helpful high-authority article directly related to a problem she publicly discussed. The insight. Connecting her company's hiring to the challenge she's facing. The personalization. Referencing her specific post and your shared alma mater. There is no sales pitch. There is no ask for her time. You are simply being a helpful, observant peer. What do you think the response to that message is going to be, compared to the generic pitch slap? It's night and day. You've gone from a cold interruption to a warm, welcome conversation. You've earned the right to have a dialogue. The goal of the first message is not to book a meeting. The goal of the first message is simply to get a reply. That's it. To open a loop. To start a human interaction. Once they reply, then you can start to explore if there's a potential fit. The sale happens in the conversation, not in the automated blast. The automation is just the world's best icebreaker, working for you at scale. It's about creating these moments of genuine connection, consistently and predictably. But this brings up the most important question of all. We've crafted the perfect VIP message. We've sent it. And then a crickets. Silence. What happens when they don't reply? This is the moment where 90% of people give up. It's where all the opportunity lies. The money isn't just in the first message. It's in the art of the follow-up. And how you follow up without being annoying, without being desperate, and without destroying all the goodwill you just built, well, that is a science in itself. And this is where 99% of people fail. They mistake persistence for pestering. They think following up means sending a variation of the same tired message over and over again. "Hey, just checking in." "Hey, just bumping this to the top of your inbox." "Hey, wondering if you saw my last message?" Every single one of those messages screams one thing. I want something from you. They are fundamentally selfish. They provide zero value and drain goodwill like a hole in a bucket. That is not a science. That is a demolition. The true science of the follow-up is built on a single, unbreakable principle. Give before you get. Every single touchpoint after that initial connection must provide standalone value. Your goal is for the other person to be happy to see your name pop up, even if they never buy from you because they know you're a source of value, not a source of obligation. So how do we do that? Let's break down the anatomy of a world-class, automated follow-up sequence. The first type of follow-up is what I call the insight bomb. This is your first message after the connection, maybe 3 to 4 days later. You are not asking for a meeting. You are not pitching your service. You are sending them a piece of high-value, relevant intelligence. It could be a new industry report, a fascinating article, a surprising statistic, or a deep dive podcast that directly relates to their role or their company's challenges. The message looks something like this. Hey Sarah, I came across this new McKinsey report on supply chain resilience in the CPG sector and immediately thought of your work at General Mills. The data on page 17 about predictive logistics is pretty eye-opening. No need to reply, just thought you'd find it valuable. Do you see the power in that? You've just demonstrated your expertise, shown that you're thinking about their specific world, and most importantly, you've taken all the pressure off with that magic phrase. No need to reply. You've just made a deposit in the relationship bank. Next, about a week after that, comes the second type of follow-up, the I see you message. This requires a slightly more sophisticated setup, but it's devastatingly effective. This message is triggered by your prospect's activity. They post an article on LinkedIn. Their company announces a new funding round. They win an industry award. Your automated message doesn't try to sell them. It simply acknowledges their world. John saw your post on the future of remote work. Your point about asynchronous communication was spot on. Great insight. Or, huge congrats to the team at Salesforce on the new product launch I saw in the news this morning. That's a massive achievement. This is the digital equivalent of a nod and a smile at a conference. It's low pressure, it shows you're paying attention, and it makes you a familiar, positive presence in their inbox. You are no longer a stranger. You are a supporter. You're playing the long game, building rapport one automated, yet genuinely thoughtful message at a time. Only after you've led with these two value-first messages do you earn the right to pivot slightly. The third follow-up, maybe 2 weeks after the initial connection, is the gentle problem probe. You're still not going in for the hard sell. Instead, you're connecting the value you've provided to a potential problem you can solve. It's a bridge. For example, hey David, hope that report on AI in marketing was useful. A lot of VPs I speak with in the SaaS space are finding it incredibly difficult to scale their content production while maintaining quality. It's a constant battle. One little-known tactic that's helping them is using generative AI for first draft outlines, which frees up their senior writers for high-level strategy. Just a thought from the trenches. Is that something your team ever runs into? Notice the structure. You're referencing past value, identifying a common enemy or problem, offering a small free piece of advice, and then asking a low-friction, open-ended question. You're not asking for 15 minutes of their time. You're asking a simple question that invites a simple yes or no, making it incredibly easy for them to engage. Now, the magic is in how you orchestrate this. Inside your automation tool, you build this as a sequence, a campaign. The trigger is new connection accepted. Step 1, wait 4 days. Step 2, send the insight bomb message. Step 3, wait 7 days. Step 4, send the I see you message, or a more generic value piece if you can't automate social listening. Step 5, wait 8 days. Step 6, send the gentle problem probe. This is your cadence. It's spaced out. It's respectful. It doesn't feel desperate. And here is the single most important rule in this entire system, the one that separates the pros from the spammers. Your automation must, without fail, have a stop on reply feature. The second that person replies to any of your messages, the automation must die. Instantly, a human has raised their hand. The machine's job is done. Now it's your turn to step in and have a real one-on-one conversation. This is the perfect synthesis of machine efficiency and human connection. The automation does the heavy lifting of nurturing a cold contact into a warm one, and you only spend your precious time talking to people who are already engaged. But what if they never reply? What if they go through all 3 steps of your carefully crafted sequence and still crickets? This is where most people either give up, or worse, get annoying and keep sending more just checking in messages. Instead, you deploy the most powerful tool in the follow-up arsenal, the professional breakup message. After about a month of silence, you send one final automated message. It's polite, it's professional, and it's a masterclass in psychology. It sounds like this. Hi Maria. I've reached out a few times about improving sales team efficiency and haven't heard back. Typically, when this happens, it means it's either not a priority right now, or you're not the right person to discuss it with. Either way, I get it. I'm going to go ahead and close your file on my end to avoid cluttering your inbox. If this becomes a priority down the road, please feel free to reach out. Wishing you and the team at Oracle all the best. This message is pure genius for 3 reasons. First, it completely removes all pressure and sales tension. You're actually walking away. Second, it shows immense respect for their time and their inbox. You're not a pest. You're a professional who knows when to move on. And third, it leverages the psychological principle of loss aversion. By closing their file, you're creating a subtle sense of scarcity. You'd be absolutely staggered by how many C-level executives reply to that specific message. They'll say, "Oh my gosh, so sorry, I've been buried. No, don't close my file, let's actually talk next Tuesday." It works because it's a pattern interrupt. It's the opposite of what every other salesperson is doing. It's a graceful exit that, paradoxically, opens more doors than it closes. This entire system, from the value-first messages to the intelligent cadence to the graceful exit, transforms lead generation from a numbers game of brute force into a sophisticated process of relationship engineering. But building this machine is one thing, choosing the right engine to power it is another. Because the tools you use and the ethical lines you draw in the sand while using them will ultimately determine whether you build a growth engine or a reputation-destroying machine. So let's draw those lines. Let's navigate the complex marketplace of LinkedIn automation tools, not by features and pricing, but by philosophy and risk. Think of this landscape in 3 distinct zones: the safe harbor, the gray zone, and the danger zone. The safe harbor is exactly what it sounds like. This is where you find tools and practices that are either explicitly endorsed by LinkedIn or operate so far outside the realm of what LinkedIn polices that they carry virtually zero risk. The undisputed king of this harbor is LinkedIn's own creation, Sales Navigator. It is, by definition, the safest way to scale your outreach. It's not automation in the sense of a robot sending messages for you, but it's a powerful engine for prospecting, list building, and intelligence gathering. Using Sales Navigator to its full potential, with saved searches, alerts, and in-mails, is the foundational layer of any serious LinkedIn strategy. It's the approved supercharger. Paired with a manual but systemized approach, it can outperform poorly executed automation any day of the week. Also in the safe harbor are auxiliary tools that help you prepare for outreach, but don't perform the outreach themselves. Think of content scheduling platforms that post for you, or AI writing assistants that help you draft compelling copy, or even profile optimization tools that give you feedback on your headline and summary. These tools don't interact with other users on your behalf. They don't send connection requests or messages. They simply help you be better when you do. They are the support crew, not the pilot, and LinkedIn has no issue with them. If your risk tolerance is absolute zero, this is your playground. You'll sacrifice speed, but you'll sleep soundly knowing your account is ironclad. Now let's venture out into the open water, the gray zone. This is where the majority of third-party automation tools live. This is where the promise of true, hands-off scaling becomes a reality, but also where the risks begin to surface. These tools are not approved by LinkedIn, and their use is a direct violation of the user agreement. Let's be crystal clear about that. However, a massive number of professionals use them, and the difference between getting away with it for years and getting your account restricted in a week comes down to the technology you choose and, more importantly, how you use it. In this zone, there are 2 primary types of tools: browser-based extensions and cloud-based platforms. Browser extensions like DuckSoup or Octopus CRM live inside your web browser. They work by automating the clicks you would normally make on the LinkedIn website. The advantage is that they're often cheaper and simpler to set up. The major disadvantage is that they are far easier for LinkedIn to detect. They run from your computer's IP address, they inject code into the web page, and they leave a digital footprint that LinkedIn's algorithms are specifically designed to find. If you're running an extension 24/7, sending hundreds of requests, LinkedIn will notice the unnatural activity originating from your single IP address. This is why the market has shifted towards cloud-based platforms. Tools like Expandy, Walaxy, or Meet Alfred operate from the cloud. When you set them up, they assign your LinkedIn account a unique, dedicated IP address located in your country. Your automation activities then run from their servers 24/7, without your computer even needing to be on. This is a significantly safer approach. It mimics the behavior of using LinkedIn from a mobile device or a different computer, which is normal user behavior. It's much harder for LinkedIn to distinguish this from a real, active human. These platforms are more sophisticated, often offering advanced features like conditional logic in their campaigns and email integration. They are the preferred choice for anyone serious about using automation safely. But even with the safest cloud-based tool, you can still get your account banned. The tool is only half the equation. The other half is you. The number one mistake people make is acting like a robot. They ramp up to sending 100 connection requests and 200 messages a day from a brand new account. This is a massive red flag. A real human doesn't suddenly go from 5 weekly connections to 100 a day. You have to warm up your account. Start low, 10 to 15 connection requests per day. Do that for a week, then slowly increase to 20, then 25. Find a comfortable, natural-looking ceiling, typically no more than 40 or 50 connection requests per day. The best tools have features built in to help you do this safely. They randomize the time between actions, they schedule activity during normal working hours in your time zone, and they automatically pause when LinkedIn's own limits are detected. You must use these safety features. Disregarding them is like disabling the airbags in your car because you want to get there faster. Finally, we arrive at the rocky shores of the danger zone. These are the tools and practices that will, without a doubt, get your account restricted or permanently banned. This isn't a matter of if, but when. The hallmark of the danger zone is a disregard for the human element of the platform. This includes tools that use scrape data to bypass LinkedIn's search functions entirely, sending connection requests to thousands of people from a spreadsheet. It includes platforms that promise to send hundreds of connection requests per day, far exceeding any reasonable human limit. And it absolutely includes any service that involves buying a pre-warmed up, fake LinkedIn profile. These are the black hat tactics of the LinkedIn world. They are built on a philosophy of pure, unfiltered spam. They burn accounts, destroy reputations, and poison the well for everyone else. Avoid them at all costs. No amount of short-term gain is worth having your professional identity, which you've spent years building, permanently deleted from the world's largest professional network. So after navigating these zones, what's the verdict? It's that the tool is secondary. Your strategy is primary. The most sophisticated, safest, cloud-based tool in the world will destroy your reputation if you use it to send generic, value-less spam. A simple manual sales navigator approach will build an empire if it's based on genuine, personalized outreach. The true secret to unlocking growth on LinkedIn, whether manual or automated, rests on 3 pillars. First, personalization at scale. This means using the data you have from their title, their company, a recent post, a shared connection, to make your automated first touchpoint feel like it was written just for them. Use custom variables, not just their first name. Reference their industry. Mention a specific skill on their profile. The goal is for the automation to feel so personal that it doesn't feel like automation at all. Second, intent-driven outreach. Don't just blast a list of 10,000 chief technology officers. Target the ones who have shown intent. The ones who recently changed jobs, who are hiring for a specific role, who engaged with a competitor's post, or who liked an article about a problem your service solves. This is the difference between cold calling and calling someone who has already raised their hand. Your tools should enable this level of intelligent targeting. And third, and most critically, the human handoff. Automation's job is to start conversations, not to close deals. Its purpose is to break the ice and get a positive reply. The moment you get a response, a question, an objection, an expression of interest, the automation must stop. Instantly. That is the moment a human being, you, must take over. This is the handoff. You step in to have a real nuanced human conversation. You build rapport. You understand their needs. You build the relationship. Any system that tries to automate the entire conversation with an AI chatbot is doomed to fail, because business is, and always will be, human to human. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground in this series. We've gone from the philosophical underpinnings of professional networking to the most granular, tactical details of building an automated growth engine. We've seen how to craft a profile that acts as a magnet, how to define an ideal client with surgical precision, and how to write copy that opens doors. We've explored the data, the ethics, and the technology. The ultimate takeaway is this: LinkedIn automation is not a magic button. It is a lever. And like any lever, its effectiveness is determined entirely by the skill and intention of the person using it. Used poorly, it is a megaphone for mediocrity, amplifying spam and annoyance across the network. But used intelligently, strategically, and ethically, It is the single most powerful tool available to a US professional today for manufacturing opportunity. It allows you to compress time to be in a dozen places at once, to start hundreds of conversations so you can focus your finite energy on the ones that matter most. The real unlock isn't the software. It's the shift in mindset. From passive networker to active architect of your own career and business. The choice of which to be is now yours.